This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Hey, gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to A's Cast Live from Plank here in Oakland, Jack London Square. And let's face it, on a Friday, what's like the best thing you can hear? You want to go to happy hour? I mean, is there anything better after a long week? You've been grinding. It's nice outside. For weeks, you've been dealing with cold weather. You've been dealing with rain. All of a sudden, you look out, there's sun. There's the beautiful bay right off Oakland right here, and it's Friday, and someone at work says to you, hey, you want to go get a couple cocktails at happy hour? Well, that's what we're saying to you. Come down and see us here, happy hour. It's Spirit Week with the Oakland Athletics. We've got prizes, we got tickets, we got games, we got food specials. You name it, we got it. We got bowling. This is one of the coolest spots right by our offices. Always loving being here at Plank. Little bowling, little fun. And they really do. For a bowling alley, they got great food. That's always a big thing for a place. I'm going to bowl, and you're going to drink pitchers of beer. I get it. But do you got good food? Plank has good food. We're going to be here till 6 o'clock. Spirit Week. Cody, what do we got rolling?
So if you scan any of the QR codes, which you'll see when you first walk in here, Plank, pointing over, there's one here.
Behind me.
There's one behind Tommy. There's one over where everyone's going to be, the DJ setup. If you scan the QR codes on any of the signage, you'll be prompted to fill out a sweepstakes form with your name and everything. You'll be entered to win either 4 tickets and parking to opening day, A's batting practice viewing, ceremonial first pitch, meaning you'll throw it out, or the grand prize, an 18-person suite you can win. Also, remember, today's fee-free Friday. Buy any tickets for any game with no fees, valid until 8 a.m. tomorrow.
What did you say there? You kind of...
Fee-free Friday.
Fee-free
Friday. Yeah. Okay. Fee-free Friday.
Gotta go slow here. Fee-free Friday.
Till tomorrow at 8 a.m. You can buy any gate. That includes all gate giveaway items. Single game tickets for the 2023 season are on sale right now. Athletics.com/tickets. All the fees are waived until 8 a.m. tomorrow. So get on there. Athletics.com/tickets to get any of your tickets for opening day. Yankees, Red Sox, Giants. Cole Irvin's return when the Orioles come to town.
Don't bring that up. Number one thing you just said was throw out the first pitch.
You've done it.
I've done it twice. Have you done it?
No. I'm not A-list celebrity status.
I'm going to tell you, if you've ever wondered what it's like to actually play in a Major League Baseball game, this is going to really be the closest you'll ever experience. Now, there's going to be no one behind you. There's no players out there. But you're going to walk out onto the mound. You're going to get out there. They're going to introduce you. The crowd's there. The players are there. There's a bunch of people on the field. And you get up on the mound, and both times the great Dick Callahan introduced me and everything. And you get up there, and your heart just starts pumping. It just starts pumping because you first of all, you don't want to embarrass yourself, and you want to throw a strike. And I know for me, my first one I ever did was Adam Rosales, and I told Rosie, I said, Rosie, I'm bringing it. You're getting everything I got, so get ready. And I threw one that was high. It was a little high and up. I hadn't thrown off a mound in years, so when I was coming down, it kind of scooted on me. Then the next time I did it, I threw a perfect strike right down the middle. But I was jacked. You need to scoot over a little bit. They moved the cameras on us. We were jacked, and I'm telling you, being out here, if you get a chance to be able to get that, that'll be one of the greatest baseball experiences of your life. To walk out on that mound and throw out the first pitch would truly be amazing.
I hope maybe one day I get to do it. But for our fans, the ceremonial first pitch will be awesome. That's the first prize, the grand prize, the 18-person suite. Remember, scan any of the QR codes. Let me see if I can switch the camera. We'll see if we have one. See right there behind, right here to Townie's left, there's one right there. So you should be able to scan that with the QR code, fill out a sweepstakes form, name, email, I'm sure, all that. And then remember, fee-free Friday. All regular season tickets on sale today. No fees until tomorrow at 8 a.m. Athletics.com/tickets if you want to come to any of the games this year at the Coliseum.
The great Dallaire, DA, got me a jacket. I forgot the jacket because I had to lug all the equipment here. I was so worried about the equipment today that I made sure that I forgot a jacket coming out here today. Thank you, Dallaire. That was
If only you would have known that it was going to be cold by the water in Oakland.
I know. It was 80 degrees at my house, and I was feeling myself.
I'm surprised you didn't wear shorts to show off the white legs.
Yesterday was playing golf with the great Ken Korach.
He'll be here at 5:15.
In shorts. It was nice to be in shorts. We will have an announcement coming up here at 4:15 as we have a new member of our broadcast team that we are going to announce. I know it's been announced to the rest of the media, but of course, a lot of you, we put it on social media.
It's on social media too.
Okay, so
you can just say it now.
Johnny Doskow is going to join us. I've known Johnny since our days in the Cow League. This is going back to like 95, 96 is when I first met Johnny.
So you're looking at 26, 27 years now.
So, and then, knowing everything that he has done in his time with Sacramento and carrying it for Sacramento, whether it was the A's in Sacramento or it was the Giants out in Sacramento, he's done a great job up in Sac for many, many years. So having him join our broadcast team is going to be something special. It's going to help because obviously with where Ken Korach is in his career that Ken wants to do not every game anymore, and we want Ken to be around here for as long as we can possibly have him. So we're not burning Ken out anymore, doing 162 games, traveling all around the country. So he'll be able to step in for Ken, get Ken some days off. Vinny, who works so hard, Vinny works just about every game. I work just about every single game. So he's going to do a lot of play-by-play. He's going to help us here on A's Cast Live and also on A's Cast, doing a lot of different things that he is roaming through right now. But he'll be able to help. So that's great news, and we'll talk to the voice of the Athletics, Ken Korach. And I just know yesterday it was I mean, I know it's Spirit Week, and we're going to talk about all the great things, stompers here behind us, you can see. But, I mean, the reality is it was tough because, we've said a lot about what Cole Irvin's going to mean to the team. And that here was a guy that not making a ton of money, established himself. You got him for basically cash from Philadelphia. Established himself, trying to be a starter, established himself as a starter, earned the right to be a guy that we looked at saying that you're going to be the guy opening day taking the ball, and I'm looking for 30 starts. I'm looking for hopefully 200 innings out of him. And yesterday he was traded, and it was a blow as we started looking at this season, winning this season, looking at, yes, opportunity to have a much better pitching staff, a much more stable pitching staff than we had last year. And unfortunately, for us here on A's Cast Live, he was a really good friend of the program. I mean, this is a guy that came on constantly. We had a lot of fun with him. He had a great personality, told great stories. We talked Pac-12 football with him, his Oregon Ducks and the other teams, and the rivalry of all the Pac-12 guys inside the clubhouse. We wish him nothing but the best. It goes along with a lot of guys all these different years since we've been doing this, since I've been doing this, where you establish these relationships, they move on. Who knows? A lot of them come back, but we wish Cole nothing but the best. This is a great move for the Baltimore Orioles, a team that was talking big about adding to their team that made a run last year that showed the progress, all the time of tearing it down, finally showing the progress. pitching, adding Cole will definitely help the Baltimore Orioles. So good luck to him and Mr. Hyde, their manager.
Friend of the program
From the Bay Area. And good luck to the Orioles and good luck to our man Cole Irvin. Love him. Great guy.
Well, they were talking about forever, and well said about Cole. I mean, remember the first time he joined us was from a go-kart track in North Carolina.
Facts.
Avid golfer. You guys can go golfing sometime, maybe in the offseason, next offseason, because we'll make it work. But anyway, the Orioles have been looking for a starting pitcher to go along in the rotation because John Means had Tommy John surgery last year. So they're looking for a left-handed starting pitcher, and they found one. And they wanted to add to their payroll. Cole doesn't make much money, but they're getting a guy that's going to give them 180 to 200 innings. And that's going to be great for them because they need it. They're trying to contend. I mean, they have 8 prospects in the top 100. The number 1 guy is Gunnar Henderson, who's going to play third base for them. You got Adley Rushman. And they're in a very stacked division. I mean, the Rays today just signed our guy Peter Fairbanks to an extension. The Rays are giving out extensions everywhere now. Him, Jeffrey Springs.
There's money in the game.
And the Rays are spending it. I mean, Wander Franco got the deal.
They're spending it. I mean, they're not spending big money,
no, but
they're spending money.
They're re-signing Jeffrey Springs isn't their guy, but he's 30 years old. I like that deal for them. Then now you got Fairbanks. You got the Yankees still. Who knows about Boston? So the Orioles are trying to compete, and you still have Toronto in that division. So best of luck to Cole. It's going to be a tough division to pitch against, but he was great here for Oakland. And the A's added another prospect who can play multiple positions as we move closer to positionless baseball.
Well, the one thing that we keep adding, and we joked with the general manager of the Oakland Athletics about this, but we've talked about how we keep adding speed. And it is hard to acquire power. There is no question. It is hard to get guys who can hit the ball of the ballpark. That's why he talked about Jesus Aguilar, I guess, in the press. I was driving up here today when David Forts was doing his press conference. They've been scouting Aguilar for years. Well, he's 32 years old. I hope you've seen him.
Yeah.
He's played for a lot of teams.
You know what? I have the audio of the general manager speaking. We'll play that one. Here's what David Forts had to say about Jesus Aguilar and scouting him.
Yeah, he's been on our radar since he was in the minor leagues with Cleveland. I think, he kind of broke out when he was in AAA, and you followed him. We saw him across the diamond a couple times. And then, he played in Milwaukee for Craig Counsell, who Kotz is close with, and Kotz has always known how much Craig enjoyed having him there. So we've talked about him before.
So there you go. They've been scouting him since Cleveland when he was a youngster. David Force did say that he plans to play. They're trying to play him every day, either first or DH.
They've talked about him before.
Yeah, I know. But they're really excited.
They've talked about him before.
Yeah, they're excited about.
I'm excited about it because it's a deal that could work out like we have seen in the past, where you bring in a veteran who wants to basically reestablish himself as a primetime player. He's going to get the at-bats. It's going to be mostly at DH. You can say first base, that's great, but I'm not buying it. It's going to be mostly at DH. And he has the ability to give you that thump. Now, this kid that we're getting from the Orioles, do we got anything on the? Yeah,
David talked about him. Here's what he had to say about Daryl Hernandez, is I believe how you say his last name. Johnny would know. But Daryl Hernandez, who the A's got 16th best prospect.
It's not Hernandez.
We'll find out. But here's David Force on the new A's prospect.
Yeah, we're excited about Daryl. We talked to a handful of teams about Cole, and we're focused on finding some more young position player talent to add to this group. A kid with with great athleticism, with a really good track record in high A as far as his contact rate, and both performing and our scouts really excited about what they've seen from him the last couple of years.
I have a hard time getting into data that's happening in single A. I have a really hard time with that. But what you start to see is what kind of skill sets are they trying to acquire? And the thing that we are seeing is that they're trying to acquire speed. It is easier to find speed than it is power. And maybe, just maybe, something that will happen with the new rules, as bang bang plays are going to be different, stealing bags, stealing second, maybe even stealing third, coming back into the game again. It is clear that this front office, they may not tell you, they may not say that, hey, this is the game plan, but actions speak louder than words, as my late mother used to say. And their actions are they are finding guys with athleticism and speed. Saying versatility, I get it. Everybody's talking versatility, right? But speed, taking 90 feet, owning 90 feet, maybe a way to compete. I think the last time we had this conversation was with Paul Himbakides from ESPN going, okay, we have seen everybody try to do the same thing over and over again. Get on base, hit home runs. Get on base, hit home runs. Everybody try to win the exact same way, other than the Astros. I don't think and at times the Dodgers too. But a lot of teams just wanted to hit the ball at the ballpark, walk, homer, 3 true outcomes. That's how they built their teams. Who are going to be the teams with these new rules who break out and play a different way and win games? Could the A's rely hopefully on defense, rely hopefully on pitching, and speed? Speed comes to the ballpark every day. A bad cliche. I don't know if I really buy it, but speed never slumps. Don't buy that. Everything slumps. But that could be the thing that we're going to start going more to, at least now. And you hope that, I don't know, you get it from Seth Brown, you get it from Aguilar, talking about home runs, Dermis Garcia, this Noda kid, that's the Rule 5 guy from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Maybe Ramon Laureano provides you some pop. I don't know. I mean, I'm not expecting much from Estuary Ruiz, the kid that we got in the trade with that sent Murph to Atlanta. He came over from the Brewers. Brewers got him from San Diego for Josh Hader. But speed may be the way we're going to have. Speed may be what we're going to try and do when it comes to start winning ball games.
Take a break first.
Why? Let's just get it going now. Let's get Johnny going now.
The boss is saying take a break.
Oh, coming up next. Well, the boss says take the break. Coming up next, we have a major announcement. As we're announcing the new member of the Oakland A's broadcast team next, right here. Don't forget, come down and see us. We're here at Plank. I think we're going to be here well past 6. It's Spirit Week. Come join us here at Plank. You're listening and watching A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korach here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine with your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
A's GM David Force stopped by A's Cast Live to talk about Shintaro Fujinami.
Yeah, you don't do a whole lot of press conferences. What do it mean, as we're just going to call him Fuji, as you get your big right-hander, really like a small forward? I didn't realize he was this tall.
He's a big dude. Yeah, even when Billy walks in and says, damn, he's big, you know that he's a big guy. So it's been fun getting to know him over the last few days and spending some time with him. But, I mentioned earlier, our guys in Asia did a great job with scouting, and it was great to be able to bring this one in.
Yeah, when I learned about the signing, we were actually down in Arizona at the time at Fantasy Camp and started looking him up and trying to remember him from the World Baseball Classic. He was like a $175, $180 in these, and then you now look at him. He's put on weight.
Yeah,
he's filled out. just talk about what you've seen, especially we've heard the last 3 months about velocity in the split finger.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about a guy who's been in the big leagues for 10 years over there, and you don't think about a guy who's still really developing, but he was in the big leagues at 18 years old. So he's really, matured over his career. Obviously went through some difficulties in 16, 17 with command. He even spent some time in the minors the past couple of years, but we really did a good job following him through the minor leagues, staying on him, and his last month and a half in Japan, he made a couple starts in August where he dominated, and we watched a lot of video, talked a lot about him leading into the off season, and then really just stayed on this deal until we got it done.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, if you haven't been following social media, I'm sure it's out on Instagram and Twitter. But Johnny, you've been announced. Johnny Doskow joining us here on the A's broadcast team after years being in Sacramento.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
This is huge.
Thanks, Townie. I'm pumped. I'm fired up. 30 years in the minor leagues, and this is a great landing spot. I'm glad to be here.
Did you ever think this would happen?
Well, it's funny. There were years like 2016, 17, 18, and 19 where I kind of talked to my wife and I said, "Babe, I just don't know if it's going to happen." And I was okay with it, because you're still calling baseball.
Yeah.
Getting into my 50s, I'm like, it may not happen. But so that when this happened, I was really excited.
Well, people need to know of how well you did in Sacramento, and it was with the A's, and then now with the Giants. But it tells a lot about your story and your talents about being in a big market in AAA for a long time. That says a lot about you.
Thanks, Townie. Yeah, 22 years. Hard to believe. It went pretty fast. We were at the A's 2001 to 2014, and then after that with the Giants. But yeah, some great years there and the big crowds there. And yeah, I won't forget those 22 years. But it is nice to get to the next level for sure.
Oh yeah, I used to have you on the pregame show back in the day.
Back in the day, that's
Like,
right.
who is this guy?
Yeah.
We'd be asking about players. You would come on.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, I mean, the A's gave the Rivercats so many great teams. I mean, look, they won. They did win with the Giants in 2019, but before that, it was all A's. Won 7 out of 8 division championships, won a couple AAA championships, won a couple PCL titles. So. The A's and Billy Bean and David Forrest and company gave the Rivercats a lot of great teams back in the day. So.
Now, I want people to know we actually go back a long way.
Yes, we do.
So when I've had to hold it in. I've known for a while that you were getting this gig, right? And you can't tell anybody. I'm like, all right, I won't say anything. But when I got done playing baseball at San Jose State, the San Jose Giants were connected to the student station at San Jose State. So I was still just finishing college, and I was doing San Jose Giant games. Which team were you with?
I was actually with the High Desert Mavericks, 96 and 97.
Okay.
Yeah. High Desert Mavericks. Yep.
So you were in High Desert.
Yep.
And I got to know you then. He was one of the few guys, because they were pro announcers, college kid, right, who just got done playing. He was one of the nice guys to me back in the day.
Thank you.
And I've never forgotten that. And that's why it was so great always bringing you on when we had the pregame show back when we were on a different station. And so we've actually known each other for a long time.
Yes.
And it's also one of the reasons why I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Because he's always been one of the good guys. Because it was easy back then. There were some older curmudgeon guys that didn't like us younger guys coming into the business.
Yeah, well, I remember you had just got done playing at San Jose State and started your career there. And how was it for you now? How'd you like that at San Jose the first couple of years?
Yeah, it was just I was terrible at it, but it was fun still being in baseball, and it made me realize I'm much better at talk radio than I am at play-by-play. So, but that actually led me from doing San Jose Giants. Also led me into KNBR, which started my talk show career, get to KNBR, which allowed me to basically have my whole career here in the Bay Area. So I've been very fortunate that I've always been able to be here. So, this is just awesome, because you think, all these years of grinding and being in, and you've done some big league baseball before.
Yeah.
So you've had that taste before. But now you are in the big leagues.
It's amazing. The people that have reached out, Townie's been unbelievable. And, look, I've always followed the A's from afar, because every minor league affiliate I've been with, we had the A's in our league. 1993, the Madison Muskies. 1995, the West Michigan Whitecaps, they were the A's. Then the Modesto A's in the Cal League, and then you go Edmonton, Vancouver, and then Sacramento with the River Cats with the A's. So I've always watched and admired the A's. I grew up a Dwayne Murphy fan, grew up an A's fan. So for me, this is come full circle. It's pretty cool.
And now he can finally admit it. He hated when the A's left Sacramento and the Giants took over. You can finally admit that now.
I knew that was coming.
You can come clean.
I told my buddy, I said, Townie's going to crush me on that.
Oh, because people are still angry about that. David Force one time, I don't even remember. Cody may remember, but I think it was in Nashville. Nashville was playing Sacramento, and he was watching like the game on YouTube or something like that, and he's like, yeah, I've never forgotten. Like David Force still is angry that Sacramento is not our AAA affiliate, so he still holds grudges.
It really was such a natural fit, Sacramento and Oakland, and it was kind of a shocker when the River Cats did go to the Giants.
Which once again he had no control over.
I had no control over it.
No
control over it. But it was tough. Like it was a heavy blow there for a while. Then you get relationships. I did get some good relationships with the Giants, but still though, yeah, of course. I mean, green and gold is where I need to be, where I should be.
Yeah, and I think about, AAA, and we talk to Fran Reardon about this all the time, who's now our skipper with the Las Vegas Aviators, is making dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
You have these guys that get drafted, they get signed, and they get that call into the manager's office, and you've experienced that so many times that you think about parents, wives, girlfriends, children, grandparents, everybody who's been around to help these players to get to this point. So they're finally getting their dreams. Most people, your dreams don't come true.
Yeah.
These guys are getting their dreams come true. It's really one of the magical, because you don't have this. You have it in hockey, but who cares? We don't have this in the NFL. We don't have this in basketball. It's what we have in baseball. It's a very special moment. You've lived it for a long time.
Thank you. And the one that I remember most, Townie, is Jerry Blevins, because Blevins, they called up Tony DeFrancesco, the manager at the time, called up Jerry Blevins in front of our whole front office at the Solon Club there. So when he got called up, 24 years old, on his birthday, 24th birthday, tears flowing down his face, and everybody saw it. And that, to me, was such an emotional call-up, just to see him just express those emotions and everything he's worked for his whole life to get there. There's so many stories like that. A guy's getting called up with the manager messing with the guy, and then he calls him up. And those stories never get old to me. Dave Brundage was great with that, just messing with the guy, and then he goes to the big leagues. Pretty cool.
It really is. Yeah. Jesus, what is that? Who is that?
There he is.
Excuse me, security. Can we get one of this A's fan out of the way here as we are trying to conduct a professional interview? The great Ken Korach is joining us at 5:15. Ken will be stopping by. We had to work out his appearance fee, but it has been worked out, and Ken will be here. You'll be working with Ken.
Yes.
You'll be filling in for Ken, who obviously Ken is a legend in the Bay Area.
Yes.
He's a Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Vince Cotroneo, who you've known for years.
Yes.
What's it mean for you that you're going to be working with these guys?
Amazing. Like I look at the whole crew, the broadcast crew with of course Ken and Vin and Dallas and Glenn and the whole crew with you and Cody and Jessica. I'm just excited, the whole crew, but to get a chance to work with a future Hall of Famer here and Vince, everybody, I can't wait, because these guys have treated me so well through the years, and they're as excited as I am that I'm in the big leagues with the A's. So it means the world to me, and an honor, quite frankly. I'm very grateful.
Well, it's the guys like them who've paid their dues. You've paid their dues, because there's some people in the business who haven't. They don't understand what it's like to go from the different levels and to get those jobs where it means something to get to AA. It means something to get to AAA, and then to get to the big leagues. Both Ken and Vince have done that. They understand the journey.
They do. They understand. They've talked to me about it, and they're so excited about it. They both reached out and had some great talks with them. So, Townie, just this whole thing has been such a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. As he said, you had to keep it low. I had to keep it low for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now to be able to share it, and it's overwhelming. It's very emotional.
How excited are you to get on the road? A jet, the Four Seasons, the hotels. That's got to be.
I remember when in 2012 when I did some stuff with the A's when Kenny had his knee replacement. I remember going to the Fairmont in Seattle, and I've been in all these single A and triple A hotels, and I was at the Fairmont. I got up to my room and I just looked outside and just wept like a baby. Just to have the opportunity to be at a hotel like that in the big leagues. I mean, I will not take one day for granted here. I'm just very, very grateful.
Yeah, we're blessed. And I think the thing that will work out nicely is, ever since really the book Moneyball came out, our fan base has had this really super strong connection with the minor league system, and people care so much. And that's where a lot of fans still remember you from your time with the River Cats. So you'll step in, and an event like this, it's a great to showcase you and introduce you, because this is a lot of the hardcores who know exactly who you are, what you're about, and your time with this with this organization.
Thanks, Tony. And also look at the minor league system right now for the A's. Look at it's just rebuilding now. The A's, when they're done, they go straight up pretty quickly. It's not like a 4-year thing. They reload, and they have a bunch of minor leaguers that I'm really excited to see. I mean, some of these prospects are going to be, in a few years, are going to be unbelievable. So that's pretty exciting.
One of the things that's been so tough to evaluate, as Amelia Schimmel, is Amelia now on the mic? Amelia Schimmel's on the mic, so we're going to be playing games. We've got prizes. We've got the grand prize. So Spirit Week, we'll get into this. We've talked about you can scan the QR codes here. You got a grand prize that you could potentially win, an 18-person suite. Throwing out the first pitch. Have you done that up in Sacramento?
Oh, no, never.
You've never thrown out the first pitch? You were there how many years?
22 years. I never got a first pitch.
They never asked you?
No, they never asked me.
The voice
years.
of the team never did it?
Not once.
We're going to have to get you out there. How's your arm?
Yeah.
We're going to get A's batting practice viewing, which is great, and then we're going to have tickets for opening day with parking that you'll absolutely love. That is going to be the fun thing, too, is introducing you to the fans. What do you think it's going to be like today?
I'm just happy to be a part of it. I think it's just going to be I hope that, as you mentioned, I hope some of them remember me from 11 years ago.
Oh, they will.
I hope
they
so.
Will, yeah.
A's fans have great memory. So I hope they do, but it's just great to see some familiar face. I did see somebody who remembered from 11 years ago remember me, so I hope that a lot of them do, because I'm really glad to be back here.
Well, and you have watched so much how Major League and minor league baseball has changed, and minor league baseball has changed dramatically.
Yeah.
I think about with AAA now. My God, I look at the numbers. There's no way the hitters are that good and the pitchers are that bad.
Yeah.
And we've talked to David Force about that, going, well, especially within Vegas, right? So you're like looking at our pitchers in Vegas. You look at the numbers and you think they're horrific, and then you look at the offensive numbers and everybody looks like they're going to be the next coming of Ted Williams or Willie Mays.
Yeah.
What has that been like down there, calling it for you, knowing that so many elevation, dry air, a lot of skewed numbers?
No question. I talk to scouts about that all the time, and it's very difficult. You see a guy with like a 5.5, he still could be dealing. You could have a couple games where he allows 10 earned runs in 2 1/3, right? I mean, the Las Vegas ballpark, the Salt Lake ballpark, Albuquerque, El Paso, it goes on and on. Reno is a Cracker Jack box too. So you really can't judge it on that. So I'll see a guy get called up with a 6.5. The guy goes, terrible. No, he's actually dealing. It's really tough to judge. And again, the hitting, as you said, the hitting numbers are skewed too, because you get a guy with 28, 35 home runs. He goes up there and can't hit anything. So
Sky Bolt's coming up here with some amazing numbers, and then it just unfortunately hasn't translated. How tough was that for you as a broadcaster when you're just not calling balls and strikes? You have a lot to talk about with the game. You analyze the game. Did you talk about with the fans when you, especially with pitchers? As you said, a guy could be an outstanding pitcher.
Yeah.
He's going to the big leagues and he's going to compete at the big league level, but he's sitting in AAA with an ERA of 6.
Yeah, exactly. And I know guys, sometimes players and pitchers will look at their numbers and be frustrated with their numbers. I got to say, especially if you're a bullpen guy, right? You got an ERA of 7, and how many outings will it take to get my ERA down? But I think one thing I try to stress with players is, yes, they're looking at numbers, but they're also looking at, in their report, they'll see if you have 3 or 4 good outings, even though your ERA is, 6.24 or whatever. He's been pitching better lately, and it's just some of those numbers are just so misleading with some of these guys. So I'm never surprised when I see a guy get called up. I think fans sometimes get shocked when a guy gets called up when he doesn't have great numbers, but you can't judge it on that. That's why what the minor league managers and pitching coaches put in that report, that's what they're looking at.
Well, and obviously we're going to need guys who have been playing in Las Vegas to step up. When you have watched Las Vegas, what have you seen with the Aviators?
Well, I've seen some good talent coming through. And the great thing about the A's, like you're going to get a lot of those guys that were in Vegas. Like, it's great to see the Nick Allens coming up and some of these guys. But you got a lot of guys that are going to come up and contribute at the big league level. So guys know when you're in Vegas, you're pretty darn close. I just look at the A's system right now with all these guys that got through these trades and all the young guys coming up in single A and double A. There are numerous prospects, and I think it's just an exciting time to be in this organization. So all these guys coming up.
And how, the guy we got today, yesterday, Daryl, is it Hernandez?
Yeah.
Or is it Hernandez?
Yeah, I talked to a scout about him, and the A's. I mean, obviously give up Cole Irvin. We talked about that, and
we're not happy about that.
And Verbitsky, a prospect, but this guy apparently is a great athlete. This guy coming in, and again, we talked about a guy playing a variety of positions, playing second base, third base, shortstop. He's 21 years old. He's got some upside, so I think it's going to be that it could end up being a pretty good trade for the A's.
Now, we're all looking forward to the pitch clock, and we have heard nothing but great news.
Yeah.
I mean, because as you know, you're looking at our box scores. You're seeing 3.5, 3 hours 40, 3:45.
Yeah.
It's just too long.
Yeah.
How much has the pitch clock really changed? What'd you see, and do you love it?
It's been unbelievable. I like it. At first, I wasn't too sure about it, but I'll tell you what, it's as far as the rhythm of the play-by-play, it's interesting because you have to get your stories in quickly because it's coming a lot faster. But I'll tell you what, the games do fly. I mean, you have some 240s. We had games in Reno we had a game in Reno that was 236.
Oh my God.
That doesn't happen. So it does. There is more action. Overall, I do like it. I think it's going to take the Verlanders and guys like that. That's going to be a challenge for those guys to figure that out. But I mean, a guy like Scherzer works quickly already. But some of these young guys coming up, they're already used to the pitch clock. They don't even need it because they're used to it. So I like it overall. You ready for it? Are you excited?
Oh my God! If someone's got to talk after the game, I can't wait. And like everybody gets to go home. I'm the guy that's got to stay there late. It kind of reminds me, like anything else, when we put up all the netting around and everybody's like, "Oh my God, the netting going on." No one even talks about it now.
Everybody's used to it,
the change. So I'm glad that it works out better. It's going to be faster. It's going to hopefully help for attendance during weekday games. And obviously, kids got to go to school the next day. People got to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Stay at the ballpark to 10:30 is just really not reasonable. On the rules, talk to us because we've only read about it. You've lived it. You broadcast it. How do you like some of the new rules, whether it's the shifting, the bigger bases? How do you like it?
Well, I think the shifting is going to be good. Now, we didn't experience the shifting last year in AAA, but we did experience the bigger bases, and I didn't really see much of a difference there. We did experience the on the third toss over to first called the balk.
Yeah.
And the pitch clock, and we of course we had the automatic strike zone for a while too there, the ABS. So that was interesting.
You like that?
It was interesting. I think I did because you couldn't really notice it a lot, but we had a guy, one of our tall 7-foot right-handers, Sean Jelly, threw a pitch that was literally low and it almost hit the ground, Townie, and they called it a strike. Then after we looked at it, it did skim the box like it was a strike. So some of these strikes, I don't know how much that's going to fly when it does come in the ABS with some of these veteran players. They're like, that's not a strike. That's never been a strike. Why is that a strike? So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out with the automatic strike zone.
So as long as it hits
any part of that box,
it's a strike.
Yeah,
even though the catcher's going way down.
The ball. I'm telling you, the ball that was caught was literally almost hit the ground, low and away, and they called it strike 3. Even Jelly was laughing on the mound. He was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And the funny part about the automatic strike zone, we had a rehab guy. I think it was Jake McKee, and he asked the umpire, "Where did that miss?" And the umpire said, "I don't know. How am I going to know where it missed? I don't know where it missed because it's automatic strike zone. They're hearing in their ear." So they hear ball strike, and then they make the call. So it's very strange.
See, we were under the impression that they still, in their mind, have to sit there and call balls and strikes in case there's something that's wrong. Like in case there's a glitch that they still can correct and go, no, that actually
if a ball, I think a ball hits the ground and it's called a strike. It just has a screw up and then they do it. But for the most part, they just whatever they hear in their ear, they call.
Now, I was told that the bags look like almost like large pizza boxes.
They are. They're huge. Does it
make it bang plays, stolen bases? Does it make a difference?
Well, I couldn't tell much of a difference on it.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't tell much of a difference on it. It is strange to see those pizza boxes out there, though. But yeah, no, that was the one rule where it's like, it's fine. I think it probably prevents injuries a little bit, so it's fine. I don't think it's that much of a difference. There could be more stolen bases, I think, at the big league level.
Well, with everybody we're acquiring, they're all stolen base guys now. We're getting away from power, so we want it. The pickoff, I as a former pitcher, I hate it.
Yeah.
But as somebody who wants to see more action and taking 90 feet and being more aggressive, I understand it. If I have to bet, it's not going to be around very long. It's going to get people moving. It's going to cause people to steal more bases. And then once it gets ridiculous, they'll remove it. But I like the fact that it's going to get people stealing bags. How do you feel about the rule?
I don't know. I'm not there yet with it. I don't know. I understand what they're trying to do. I don't know. There's some baseball things I wish they wouldn't change, and I'm kind of disappointed that they're going that route on it. But it's here to stay, and that's why I was going to ask you about the automatic strike zone, like something like that. I don't think that will fly with the players' union in the big leagues. I just don't know how that, because it's coming, right?
It's coming. Yeah. I don't know. What are they going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
The days of, I don't know if it's completely dead, but the days of the players' union doesn't like it and the players don't like it. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that really, that is kind of an archaic thing, because now baseball has to do its best for its game, because the data will tell you games are too long, attendance is down, TV ratings down, there's too much data that goes against, well, the players don't like it. Yeah. Well, you know what? We pay you, show up and play. Well, however the rules are, show up and play.
Do you think that do you think the players are going to try to make the adjustment to the as far as the pitch clock, or do you think they're just going to the pitchers are going to get used to it after a while?
They're going to have to make the adjustment. I'll give you one. Players always said they'd never do steroid testing. Remember that,
right?
They used to say, Donald Fear, the old players union head, said this will never happen in Major League Baseball. There'll be a holy war. By the way, players get tested now all year round. So don't always believe when the players don't like something. We've always heard look out, the players are not going to like it. They're employees in the end. You're going to have to, right? I think this is an adjustment. Part of what spring training will be, the old guard. And to me, it's not necessarily the starters, because starters like to work fast, right? You like to get into a rhythm. To me, it's going to be the Kenley Chansons who are, my God, they'll sit up there and they'll get the sign, they'll get it, they'll throw the ball, catch it, they'll walk around the mound, and next thing you know, it's 20 seconds, and they're just getting on the mound. It's really the relievers, for me, are going to have the harder time because they've been the slowest guys. It's going to be like, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Camilo Doval who takes
forever
with
the Giants. He's unbelievable.
Yes, so hopefully he's working on it already, because there's no way. He's way over 20 seconds and way over 15 seconds with no one on base. So that's a guy like that's going to have to make the adjustment on that, and other pitchers too. Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm glad you brought him up. We were actually at our sports bar down the South Bay. It's actually the Commanders' favorite place, Rookies. And Monday Night Football had ended.
Great spot.
The Giants have been in a rain delay against Colorado, and they're in Coors Field. And so he's on the mound. The game comes on after Monday Night Football. They switch the TVs over. We started timing him. And literally it took him to get the ball to get on the mound. He was already like at 15 seconds or whatever. Now he's looking in. You're going, that's not going to fly. And with a runner on base?
Yeah.
Bro, you're going to have to get up on the mound and change it, because you're going to be getting balls like you wouldn't believe.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I think there are a lot of guys who have to make the adjustment on that, and they're going to have to, because it's going to be a lot of balks, a lot of balls. It's going to be interesting. They're going to have to make that adjustment.
It's a quick learning curve, because you have to do it, and then for the future of it, and that's why it's so smart that we started in the minor leagues, because you have so many of these guys that, as you said, they've been doing it already.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise. So when our pitchers came, we used so many guys last year. We used 64 players. When we had all these guys coming up from the minor leagues last year, it was no big deal. They all said, not a big deal.
Right. Yeah, because you probably noticed it with guys coming up that they don't even need a pitch clock.
They're ready to go.
Yeah, they're ready to go. They get it and they're ready to go. And I think it actually, as you said earlier, I think it helps pitchers, right? There's a rhythm to it, right? It helps pitchers. Kind of takes the hitters. It'll be interesting to see how many hitters are banged for that when they don't get in the box on time. I've seen hitters rung up. Eddie Alvarez last year with Oklahoma City, early last year, was rung up on because he didn't get the box in time, and he was hot. He got thrown out of the game. But some of those hitters will get rung up if they don't get in the box too. So
they're going to have, rule changes happen all the time in the different sports, whether it's football, basketball, or hockey. Everybody adjusts. We'll see it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun to see because it's going to give something for us here on A's Cast Live.
Yeah.
And you're going to be joining us on A's Cast Live. Yep. And for you guys doing play-by-play. And I think you'll really be able to help everybody because you lived it, you've been around it.
Yeah, you know what? Overall, I do like the pitch clock. I will say that. That's the one I do. I think overall, first it was strange. It was like, but I do like it. Games do move along pretty quickly for sure.
And I like how it kind of says, all right, play-by-play guys, stop being long-winded and get your story
right.
in.
You got to get that story in. You got to get it in. You got to get it in.
You got to get the meat of it, right?
Exactly. Yes.
You can't. It's like land the plane, man.
Exactly.
You got to get the story in.
Oh, my wife. That's my wife's favorite expression. Land the plane. Land the plane. One time. Exactly. So you're right. You got to get your story and get in, get out. Exactly.
The master of it, the greatest, Vin Scully, never had to carry over his story to the next
Never.
inning.
He never started a story with 2 outs. I know,
He would, his story, the minute, if they pop up, he would have the story and more Dodger baseball.
Exactly. It's always perfect. Always perfect. That's what I grew up listening to. I got amazing.
Well, I'm so excited for
Thanks,
you. This
man.
is incredible. It's
Thank
going to be an honor to have you. And I know for you and your family, I mean, you're in the big leagues.
I know. Thanks,
all those
Townie.
years, you've earned it.
Fast track, Townie, 30 years. Fast track. Never a doubt. So thank you. I appreciate it, really. Thank you.
No, it is
Thank
awesome.
You. Thank you.
You're going to be seeing him and hearing him a lot right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live. We got more coming from Plank. Come and see us as we're having a great time right here on A's Cast Live.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korach here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Super agent Scott Boras joined A's Cast Live with Townie and discussed the success his clients have in Oakland.
And if a lot of our fans don't know, you've had a great relationship with David Forrest, even a better relationship all these years with Billy Beane and the Oakland Athletics. So as we joked, you're bringing Mount Fuji to the Bay Area. He wants to be called Fuji. Just why is he a great fit?
Well, by the way, I always tell every fan, I knew Billy Beane when he could run. Billy Beane could run. So he really could. This guy was a great athlete. He really was.
Yeah.
But the dynamic of Cintaro is that he's got a big arm. He's always had a big arm. And the question was his command. And this year he developed a splitter. By throwing the splitter in his arm slot, it allowed him to gain more command of his four-seam fastball. And by having those two pitches, he became dominant the last few months in Japan. And then I give credit to a few teams, particularly the A's, for scouting him. The minute that he was a free agent, they called us. And as I said in the press conference today, we've just had great success in this organization. By, we bring Cole Irvin, we brought Frankie Montas. We've had Caprillion come here from the Yankees. Every pitcher that we've brought over, we also represent Blackburn. So every pitcher we've brought over here has succeeded. So we kind of feel that this environment is a place for players that we believe are coming to and coming into themselves to really ramp up and develop in the major league.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
David Forst was on A's Cast Live and talked about A.J. Puck's role heading into 2023.
What do you think about A.J. Puck? Because he just settled into a nice role and stayed healthy for the first time. He gave you like 62 appearances, I think it was.
Yeah.
Now he's starting to stretch out. You talked about the press conference. He's starting to stretch out. Is this a situation you're going to give him the opportunity, but you know you have a good backup plan in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think AJ would probably rather we say, no, he's starting. That's the plan. But you always have to have a plan B and plan C. I'm not objective when it comes to AJ. I saw him start a game in Florida, loved him out of the draft. Always sort of go back to that, like, man, this guy's starter, throwing hard, big dude, durable, and then he's had his issues. So for him to get through a year healthy, come to us and say, at the end of the season, I want a chance to start again, like, he earned that. So we'll see how he does coming into camp.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Oh, man, we got prizes given away as we speak here at Plank. The food here looks good. Ken Korach has brought a plate over. I cannot wait. Talk with Johnny, something that, we will get a lot into, and something that our coaching staff is going to have to address is the change in the rules. These coaches, they've not been a part of these rules. So when you start talking about pitch clock and getting your players prepared, because no one's going to want to hear, especially from the A's standpoint, and I got to think this is all 30 teams, no one's going to want to hear players complaining about how fast they have to play. You need to make the adjustment. You're a professional athlete. We pay you a lot of money. Make the adjustment and make it now. And this better not be an issue a week, 2 weeks. This better not be costing us games. These are the rules that you play. David Forst always says, give me the rules. Tell us how we're going to play. That's how we're going to have to build the team. Marcotte is going to be the same way. These are the rules. This is how we play. Don't screw it up. This should not be an issue. I don't want to hear this be an issue for a pitcher. I don't want to hear this for a player, for a position player. I don't want to hear it for a defender. These are the rules. You have spring training. You've got a month to figure it out, and it better not cost us a game.
I was listening to our good friend Buster Olney's podcast today from yesterday, and he had Kim Ng and Perry Manassian on, the GM of the Angels, and the GM, Kim Ng, obviously the GM of the Miami Marlins. And he asked her the questions of, I'll start with Perry Manassian. He asked Manassian about it, and he said the one rule he's looking to see how much of an impact it has is the bigger bases because of the bang plays, the stolen bases. Like he talked about when Kim Ng kind of a little bit deflected and said Skip Schumacher is going to have to, and his staff's going to have to talk about that. So you're right. Kotz and his staff will have to get together, talk about these rules, how they want to go adjust it, move forward, because we're seeing a lot of the guys on the A's that they've acquired, like Ruiz, and that maybe they're trying to move towards the stolen base, and that would be awesome. I mean, because we don't know.
I don't know how you could say maybe if you're acquiring guys with speed and you're not acquiring guys who hit the ball at the ballpark, it tells you the direction that the team's going in. It's no secret.
Are we going to see maybe return of the running A's like that we have with Chuck Tanner that Feldy told us about? They had 371 still. I don't think we're going to go that high, but if we can get, I don't know, 200.
Well, you got to figure out how to score runs. You got to figure out how to win games. And if you don't have a ton of power, you're going to have to use your athleticism, and that's the direction. They're not. And in these trades, they continue to not acquire guys who are power guys.
Yeah.
They're acquiring guys with speed and athleticism. So it tells you the direction that the team is going in. But from the rules standpoint, every pitcher is going to have his time, and I don't care about the other teams. I just care about our team, is you're going to have plenty of time in spring training to figure this out. And if you can't get the ball, get the signs and pitch, or get in the box ready to hit in time, shame on you. That's on you. And everybody's going to tell. And I think just about everybody is going to enjoy not shifting. I think I don't think defenders liked it all that much. We know pitchers, they felt uncomfortable with it behind them. They like when they got outs, but they didn't like when they got beat when they shouldn't have been beat. I think overall for the game, people will like it. And so shifting, base running, movement, more contact will all be good. And speeding things up, I think players will also appreciate.
One thing I'm going to miss, so we got to see if we can find someone else on the A staff that can do this. Can we get that under 2-hour game like Cole Irvin promised he'd do? Who's the next? We got to find out who the next fastest guy on the staff is and see if we can get that. We'll set 2:15.
JP Sears worked pretty fast.
Yeah. I don't think Waldichuk moved that fast.
Nah.
He's not slow like Shohei Ohtani slow or Brandon Woodruff of the Brewers.
Fuji slow?
We'll find out. Could be Fuji Ohtani opening day now.
Well, I brought that up and I was scolded by marketing because they want Fuji to pitch on
Saturday for the promo, yeah.
On the day that he's got his shirt out. But I'm like, hey, wait a minute. We could have Fuji Ohtani. That'd be sold out. You talk about huge interest in Japan. If you have Ohtani against Fuji on opening day, that would be amazing. All right, quickly, I've got to go talk to some A's fans here at Plank. What do we got going on?
So if you find we're here at Plank, A Spirit Week concludes today, but scan any of the QR codes if you're here or if you're coming through on any of the A signage throughout Plank, then you'll be prompted to fill out a sweepstakes form with your name and email and contact information. But the prize you can win, 4 tickets and parking to opening day. That's against the Angels, as we mentioned. Second prize is A's batting practice viewing, which you can go on the field and watch batting practice. You'll see us. Can't promise you'll come out with us, but you'll see us on the field. First prize is ceremonial first pitch. Tony's done it numerous times. He's a pro at it. And the grand prize, 18-person suite is the grand prize for it if you're picked in the raffle. Today is also fee-free Friday.
Fee-free
Friday. Buy any tickets for any game with no fees, valid until 8 a.m. tomorrow. Includes all gate giveaway items, the bobbleheads, drones, fireworks. Single game tickets are on sale now.
Hawaiian shirt,
that can't. Tony Kemp poster. Single game tickets are on sale for the 2023 regular season right now, athletics.com/tickets. Still got plenty of time to come down, and we're still going to be here for another hour plus. So come down and join us. But I mean, you got to go and be.
I got to
man
go
of the people.
schmooze. Johnny's going to be back, and then we'll have Ken Korach at 5:15. Come see us at Plank. You're watching and listening to A's Cast Live.
Derek Shelton, manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, joined Townie in San Diego at the winter meetings to talk about Ray Fosse.
My dad and Ray grew up in bordering towns in southern Illinois, so the whole time growing up, we always heard the stories about the Legion Ball battles or the Little League battles that my dad and Ray had, and I think as we were talking coming into it, when coming into Oakland, it was my favorite part, doing the pregame show with him.
Yeah.
And being able to sit and talking to him and listening to him and Vince. I mean, someone that's sorely missed and definitely affected me because, for a long time, when I first started as a young coach, he was even a mentor to me as, a broadcaster. He was a wonderful human being.
The Marion Mule. Back at
Yes, very, very Marion, Illinois. Very, very good call.
I remember when he was so excited because we didn't realize that Illinois and St. Louis have like a joint Hall of Fame, and he was going into this Hall of Fame, and it was like a big deal.
Oh yeah,
and Ray, Ray is so proud of his roots, and the one thing that Ray made everybody feel special.
That he did, and I think that goes back to why he so deeply affected me when I started as a young hitting coach in Cleveland, and he had Cleveland ties, and just the conversations, for a guy that was learning the ropes of the big leagues, he was extremely helpful, and I think, like you said, and your whole fan base, someone that's extremely missed.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine with your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korach here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Hall of Famer, Cy Young winner, and MVP Raleigh Fingers joined A's Cast Live and discussed what it was like preparing to face Willie Mays.
I grew up idolizing Willie. In fact, when I was a kid, he was my first autograph I got when I was a kid.
Really?
At a Dodger Stadium. And I chased him down in the parking lot at Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium when I was about 14, 15 years old. And I asked him for his autograph, and he gave it to me. And then 13 years later, I'm facing him in the World Series, and I'm the last guy to strike him out. The last hit he got in a big league uniform, and his last RBI was off of me.
It was all last hit, last RBI, last K was all you and Willie Mays.
Yep, in his career. I told Willie, I said, Willie, and when I went in the Hall of Fame, I told Willie that story, and I said, Willie, it's a good thing you gave me the autograph. I'd have drilled your ass.
That was awesome.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
No, I'm not Chris Townsend, but I am Commander Cody. Johnny, it's a pleasure to finally talk to you.
Yes.
And work with you now. Congratulations on the new role. I was in the Bay Area, I think, when you filled in for Ken before, but I was still a young kid, so I didn't really have a chance to get to meet you or be around the ball club as much. So I'm happy you're here. We're here at Plank until, what time is it, 5? So for another hour or so we'll be here. Plenty of chance to win prizes. Amelia's doing bingo and trivia right now. The question just was, who's second all time in stolen bases? behind Ricky Henderson in A's franchise history. I went more, it was campy, but I went more modern and said Coco because I'm 34 years old. I didn't see the 70s teams play.
Right.
So the answer, I'm sure Coco's in the top 5, although as we know, under Billy Beane, stolen bases weren't really a thing. If you watch Moneyball, he pays you to get on first, not got thrown out at second.
Right.
So how do you feel after the news today?
Incredible. Thanks, Cody. It's amazing. I think about just all the years I put in just in the minor leagues, going through the Midwest League, then the Cal League, and the Pacific Coast League, and I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like just being a part of this, being part of this broadcast crew, being part of this organization. I love the A's. So for me, it's surreal. It's really been amazing. All the people that have reached out from my past, it's been pretty cool.
You're getting a big following on social media. I mean, you might boost our followers on our A's Cast Twitter just from today.
That.
And I mean, between you and Jess Kleinschmidt, I mean, I think our social engagement is going to really boost this year. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we talked about it earlier. You're going to be calling some games too. I'm looking forward to hanging out in, I don't want to give away all the cities, but I'm looking forward to hang out in Pittsburgh with you in my hometown.
You got to show me the spots in Pittsburgh.
Well, I haven't lived there in like 12 years, but Pittsburgh's a little different now, but you can't go wrong with Permane Brothers and get a drinky Yingling. So we'll have some fun there. But there was something you and I were talking about off the air, and I kind of wanted to bring it up so our fans could hear it. Now with Hernandez coming over from the Orioles, we have Echeverry Ruiz in the system. We have Zach Geloff who can play multiple spots, Jace Peterson, Aletnis Diaz. Do you think we're trending more towards in baseball a positionless sport now? Like Emos kind of talked about it with pitchers where we're going positionless staffs. There's going to be no starter, no reliever. Do you think that's going to come with position players?
I don't know about that, but I will say it is kind of trending that way. And it used to be like with Sean Figgins, right? Sean Figgins was the guy that did that. He kind of invented that. Mike Scioscia used Sean Figgins like that, playing a variety of positions. And now you see it all the time. I mean, see it with all these different organizations. They're having these guys play at a variety of positions. And they use that growing up in the minor leagues. They're having these guys in the minor leagues, and the minor league managers will tell them, look, this will help you. Learn to play outfield if you're a third baseman. Learn to play all over the place. So I think we are kind of moving toward that. I don't think we'll ever have really positionless baseball because I don't know how they're going to do the Hall of Fame on that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but we can get into that too. Your thoughts on the Hall of Fame,
sure.
But I'm kind of with you on that because like the idea of a positionless staff, no starter, no reliever, because the Rays kind of were doing that. Although now they have 5 starting pitchers all of a sudden, which is good for baseball.
Yeah.
But it just popped in my head after seeing all these guys that the organization's acquired over the years that play multiple spots. It's like what do we qualify Geloff as a second baseman? I know he's on the top prospect list as a second baseman, but he was drafted as a third baseman. So it's interesting. Another one I would ask about the rules changes, the shift.
Yeah.
Now we know infielders have to keep their feet on the dirt. Mm-hmm. Do you think we're going to see outfielders now? Right fielder moves in to play that rover spot, shift the center fielder over, shift the left fielder over. That way the outfielders are shifting, but they're still following the rules on the in the infield to help still hurt these left-handed pull hitters hitting the ball and trying to get that base hit.
I think they're going to the smart teams are going to find a way to kind of manipulate these rules a little bit. So I think you may see that. You may see, them doing different things in the outfield to shift because look, we never saw the banning the shift at the AAA level, but this is going to be a very interesting year. I was hearing this morning about Charlie Blackmon and how many he's like, I don't know, it was, I think the 13th most robbed play. The shift cost him 13 most hits of anybody. So that's 135 lifetime hits for him, right?
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't know how it's going to affect the pitching. I don't know how it's going to affect how pitchers approach hitters. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think that some of the guys that are going to be, I brought this up with Tommy before. I think one of the guy that's going to benefit the most from the shift being banned is I think Corey Seager is going to benefit a lot from this. You can see his batting average shoot up with Texas. Now, we don't want to see it happen with Texas.
Right.
Maybe when he plays the Angels and the Mariners and the Astros in the division, but not when he plays the A's. But I think he's going to benefit a lot. I mean, Matt Olson will start getting more hits.
Yeah.
I would say Freddie Freeman, but he's already an elite hitter batting average wise. So it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this affects the game.
And look, we know how important pitching and defense is to winning championships, right? I mean, you have to have pitching. Obviously, you have to have middle guys. You have to have close. You have to great starting pitching, but the defense up the middle is so important, and it's going to be even more important now. You're going to want to have guys with great range, and so the defensive part of the game, which I love, this is going to be even more important now. You're going to want guys coming up through. Maybe a guy hits 240, 245, he can save you some runs defensively. So that I think is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking the MLB. Well, let me promote this real quick for everyone who still wants to come by. we're here at Plank, like I said, till 6 o'clock. Johnny, myself, Ken Korach's coming up in like 6 minutes. Tony will be back. He's playing host to a lot of our season ticket holders right now here at Plank. But join us here at Plank. We're here till 6. If you scan any of the QR codes around the area, you can have a chance to enter the sweepstakes to win some great prizes. 4 tickets and parking to opening day, A's batting practice viewing, ceremonial first pitch, or the grand prize 18-person suite, which will be awesome.
Nice.
I never got this. Well, I've sat in a suite before, but never won a suite, so that'd be great. And all single game tickets are on sale now. It's also fee-free Friday. Try saying that fast. All single game tickets on sale. All the fees waived till tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Athletics.com/tickets. So a lot of great values, a lot of good teams coming in because now we have the balanced schedule. So we see everyone. That's why I'm selfishly looking forward to the Pirate going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But seeing, think of the teams like you're a Cubs fan or a Brewers fan. You don't see Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout play all the time. So I think it's cool that we're doing this, and it's going to have an opportunity for young fans to see the stars that they don't get to see because they're either on the West Coast or playing late, and their teams just don't come. They come every couple of years. So I think the balanced schedule is really going to help. How do you feel about the balanced schedule?
I love it. I think it's great. I really do. It's amazing. The only thing that's going to be interesting with it is the fact that you only play your division 13 times. So that kind of takes away a little bit of the division rivalries. I think, so that part of it is going to be interesting. But I do like the fact you're going to see more teams more often.
Yeah, down from 19 before. So as Tony put it, and I kind of agree with him. I don't need to see the Mariners 19 times. And the Astros, who we haven't mentioned yet. Astros finally hired a GM, Dana Brown, who was the assistant with the Atlanta Braves. Nice move for the Astros, who Jim Crane was essentially running the organization with all the free agent contracts. You bring in Dana Brown. He's now the only black GM in baseball. He's only second African-American executive behind Kenny Williams. So great move for the Astros. Bring him. Some of the moves that the drafting and moves the Braves have made over the years. Not that we want to praise the Astros, but they made a good hire because it was like him and Bobby Evans and a few other names were thrown out there. But I think they made a good hire there. Top prospects are out. MLB.com top prospects. Tyler Soderstrom, 39th, 35th in Baseball America, so down a little. MLB.com, I guess not as high. Ken Waldichuk, 76th, I believe. So A's have 2 in the top 100. Gunnar Henderson, number 1 overall, even though he played in the majors last year for the Orioles, third baseman. Who are some guys in the A's system that you're keeping your eye on going forward?
Oh man, let's see. Well, me on the spot here. I will say that as far as the prospects go, Gelof's a guy that I really enjoyed watching last year. I saw him in Las Vegas, and he was solid. Soderstrom I saw at the end of the year, and he looked poised. He looked ready. I'll tell you a guy I'm excited about, not so much in Las Vegas, but Daniel Susac. I mean, talk about an embarrassment of riches. You talk about Soderstrom and you had Susac, and there's another guy too, and Kyle McCann too.
And you got Langoliers in the majors.
Exactly, exactly. So you got a bunch of guys. I think that a bunch of catchers. Soderstrom can play some first base. So I some of those guys really they're gonna move pretty quickly. Some of those guys. So I don't know. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank, but I know that I'm excited to see Denzel Clark. That's another guy that's I know going to be coming through. And some of those guys are A-ball, AA, just kind of moving up towards Vegas. But
there's a lot of guys in the lower ranks in the minor system. Like obviously Tyler and Zach, I think are probably hopefully they start AAA, but they might start in AA with Bobby Crosby and Midland. But they'll work their way up. Hopefully we see Tyler later in the year, and on the big club, Geloff maybe as well. We already got Nick Allen here, Esra Ruiz, who's going to be here. A lot of people are excited about. I know around the league, when we talk to some people, they're very excited about Ruiz because of his ability to steal bases. 85 last year in the minor leagues.
Incredible, yeah.
There's some pitching in the minor leagues that we're looking forward to. Hopefully guys bounce back, like Ryan Cusick and Gunnar Hoagland, guys are required in the Braves deal. We got Kyle Mahler. If he doesn't make the rotation, he'll probably go to Vegas. We have like a small forward. We have a basketball team essentially with our starting pitchers, all the left-handers that are between Mahler and Puck, Waldichuk. They're all 6'6", 6'7", so we could probably field a pretty good basketball team. But our fans are very excited about the prospects, and I think they've done a nice job of acquiring guys to bring in because they're not down forever. The wall is usually like 2 or 3 years, and then you have 3, 4, 5 good years, and then it's a repeated process. But patience is key. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of guys coming up to the system that people are very excited about.
Also, Max Muncy, another guy that you got to keep an eye on, right? He's another guy. Logan Davidson, another guy they're going to keep an eye on. And as far as the pitching goes, JT Ginn, is it? I hope I say it right. Is it Ginn?
Ginn, yeah.
Yeah, he is another guy. Mason Miller. So you got to do some prospects, some pitchers that it's like, here we go. It's exciting.
And Ginn's the guy that came over in the Chris Bassett trade. Hopefully you can get him back on track. Mason Miller throws 100, and he really surprised a lot of people in the Arizona Fall League from people we've talked to and everything I read, and people are really impressed with him. The key is keeping him healthy. I'll personally selfishly root for him because he's a Pittsburgh guy, but I want to see him, fast track his way if he starter or reliever, because the A's could always use velocity in the bullpen. But it's for sure going to be more. I don't think the team, winning 62 games or 60 games last year, they're going to be well above that. I think Fangraphs roster resource or their projected standings had him somewhere in like 70 something, or low 70s, but that's 10 game. That's a 10+ game improvement from last year.
Now, where are you with Pache? Where are you with Christian Pache?
I want to see the kid hit. I know we always talk about how hard he hits the ball. He's an elite defender. He's a plus defender. But the bat's just not there. And this is a big spring training for him. David Forrest told us that earlier. I mean, he's out of options. So, I mean, if he doesn't make the club, you kind of essentially you lost out on the guy in that trade. But hopefully he can figure it out and you keep him. You don't want him to even a guy like Kevin Kiermaier is a great, outstanding defensive outfielder. He can hit a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can hit 220, 230 with a little, some pop, you'll be a serviceable outfield. Like Ramon Laureano is another guy that has to figure the bat out because we already know how good he is in the outfield, but he needs it. But yeah, Pache, the bat needs to come out. I'm tired of hearing how hard he hits the ball. I want to see those results, not just he flew out the center or he had a line drive right to the shortstop.
Another sneaky pickup that I think a lot of people are talking about right now is Ryan Noda.
Yeah,
another guy who we saw in Oklahoma City last year, and he can hit, and it's
20+ homers last year, the last couple of years,
yeah.
and for Oklahoma City.
Yep.
Well, the Dodgers always develop and find guy. I mean, It doesn't matter who. I mean, look what happened. Look what they do with the other Max Muncy,
exactly,
who shares the same birthday as our Max Muncy.
That's right. That's so crazy.
They do a great job of developing guys, and it's just they're a machine down there for sure. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Noda could do in competition with Dermis Garcia. Now Jesus Aguilar's here.
Yeah.
I think Seth Brown, as David Forrest said earlier to the media, he'll tell him to bring 2 gloves to spring training, but he's probably going to play in the outfield most of the time. That means you have the competition at first base with Noda and Dermis and Aguilar and why am I forgetting another guy? There's another right-handed hitter I'm forgetting at first base, but there's plenty of options. The A's had 12 first basemen last year, so if you can find 1 or 2 this year to platoon, it'd be great.
But I'll tell you, Cody, I like when there's competition in spring training. It's because there's some spring trainings where they're already locked in 23 spots.
Yeah.
So they have the opportunity to see these rotation spots they'll battle for, some bullpen spots they'll battle for, some position players trying to get in. I love that. I think that competition leads to victory. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, there's a new one too because now you got the starting pitching with Cole Irvin being traded away to Baltimore, who needed a starting pitcher, so it's a good move for Baltimore.
Yep.
Now you got Wallachuk and Mahler and Sears and Blackbird and Caprillion, all these guys competing for 5 spots in rotation. We know they're not going to use 5 starters all year. That doesn't happen anymore. Every team uses around 13 a year. So hopefully they find their 5 coming out of spring training and everyone does well. I don't know if we'll see a 200-inning pitcher. That's very rare as it is. So there's a lot to look forward to with spring training. We're only I forget how many days away we are, but it's coming up fast. I think it's our first game is February 25th, so we're getting there closely. But Going up next, the voice, Ken Korach, will join. Townie's back. We're out here at Plank. Come join us. Johnny, I'm looking forward to working with you all year long.
Thanks, Commander.
Thanks for coming by. So come down here and join us. We'll be here for we'll be here for a while. It's 5:18, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Up next, Ken Korach with Chris Townsend right here on A's Cast Live.
Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korach here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
New A's pitcher Shintaro Fujinami stopped by A's Cast Live following his press conference and said he watched Moneyball on the plane ride over from Japan.
Obviously, the movie Moneyball was big over in Japan. So how much about the Oakland Athletics did he know about before signing with the team?
オークランドアスレチックスとのことをどれほど知ってましたか？映画のマネーボールとかもありましたけど、オークランドアスレチックスについてどれぐらいご存知でしたか？
マネーボールはもちろん聞きましたし、日本の、ね、OB の方々が、藪圭一さんは自分と同じチームから行ってる、先輩ですし、松井秀喜さんとか中島さんとか、たくさんの方来られてるので、もちろん、そうですね、知ってました。いろいろ知ってました。
I watched the movie Moneyball, and on the way here on the plane, like he was here, and obviously a couple of Japanese players here in Oakland Athletics, Keiichi Yabu, they're from the same team, Hanshin Tigers in Japan, Hideki Matsui, Nakajima. So, yeah, I knew about Oakland Athletics.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead. Because you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. For the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron. Together ahead.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
I can't tell you who I just talked to, but I can tell you this. I just had a great conversation with somebody who's in the know that feels really good about a ballpark just down from where we are right now. And I know for the great King Korach.
Just down the street here.
Just right over here.
Yeah, you could hit a 9-iron there.
In a wind,
home plate.
The wind right now, it may be a 2-mile wind right now, but I just had just great fans out there listening. I just had looking at this one. I just had a great conversation with someone who is in the know around the city, not a baseball person. Baseball people, you're always like, But this is someone who's working on getting a new stadium here, working
well connected,
working amongst the politicals, and it was very
fired up.
It was
great to hear.
It was something to hear that was very positive.
That's really good.
And I know how much it means to you being the voice of this team.
Well, we've spent a lot of time here, pal. We're pretty emotionally invested, as the A's fans are, for sure. And I've always been, people say, well, you're Pollyannish or whatever. I've been bullish on the Bay Area as a two-team market. It's been proven before, Chris. So, yeah, any thread of good news that we can get right now, I think is a good thing.
When you have a conversation like I just had, you realize that the media doesn't know as much as they try and portray. And there's always stuff that's going on behind the scenes that wouldn't be out to the media anyway, and that things are getting done. And there's people at the A's, there's people at the city. You have the new mayor. I was just told the new mayor is really gung-ho on the project. But, as a new mayor, you got to ease your way in. But the new mayor is gung-ho on the project, I was just told. So I had a really good conversation. It made me feel a lot better. It kind of fires you up for an event like this where we're trying to celebrate our fan base for getting ready for the 2023 season, which I know I'm excited for.
This has been great today, as you know, Chris, because you've been out with the A's fans. Great showing. It's been a really good crowd, don't you think? There are a lot of people here, and this is a very big facility, indoors and outdoors, and it's just great. It kind of gives you the sense that baseball is right around the corner.
Yeah, and I probably got it for earlier than I've ever gotten it before. If people have been paying attention and watching A's Cast Live when we went down to Arizona for fantasy camp. I mean, you get down there, it's 75 degrees. We're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
There's baseball. There's Dave Stewart, Carney Lansford, Terry Steinbach. You're like, let's get this. The great Shooty Babbitt's there. Talking to Brody Brazil. Brody Brazil, by the way, early leader for comeback player of the year after blowing out his hammy in the first at-bat and continuing to play. But being down in Arizona got me fired up. I'm ready to go as we're going to be heading down on the 21st of February. We'll be down there. You'll hear from all the players, all the coaches, the manager, the front office. We'll have all of spring training covered for you as we get you ready for it. So that got me ready to go. Are you getting
That's
into
the
that
same
mode?
day that I'm going down, the 21st.
Are you
Well, I think what really got me fired up was hearing you and Johnny Doskow on the air together today. So having Johnny D in the fold, pretty cool thing, I think, for all of us today. So.
Well, as I said to him, he's working with two guys that paid their dues in the minors, you and Vince Cotroneo. It wasn't like you just woke up one day and said, I want to be a big league broadcaster, and they said, oh, here's a job, Ken. I mean, you know what it's like to do what he did for all those years, and Vince knows that. So there's great appreciation you have for what he's been doing in Sacramento.
Yeah, a special place in my heart for people who are working in the minor leagues, because there are tons of people who are really good in A-ball and AA, AAA, rookie ball, Chris. And I've had the great pleasure of working with a lot of them and listening to tapes and trying to offer some counsel and some constructive criticism. So it's great to see someone coming up, in this case with Johnny from AAA, and getting a shot like this, and he's going to do a great job. He really will.
No, he's got to work with you. He's got to work with Vinny. He's filling in for you, too.
He's going to work more with Vinny than he will with me. But we're going to work together in spring training. You know, we've got a few games together in the spring, which is really going to be fun. So it's nice that he's going to help out on A's Cast as well, and do a lot of other stuff around with the ball club, and he'll be out in the public, and I think it's a great addition.
Well, for people to know too, it's like it's great that you're going to do the amount of games that you're going to do, and that we do not need you to do the 162 grind anymore. If we want you to be the voice of the team at this new ballpark that's just going to be right over here.
Well, I'm grateful to Dave Cavell and the rest of the A's staff for being that accommodating. They've been great. My schedule will be almost the same as it was last year, maybe 2 or 3 fewer games. But it doesn't always work out that way. So I feel really fortunate that they've been pretty good about that over the years. So yeah, I don't take that for granted.
No, well, you've earned it. You know, that's the thing that we always talked about with the great Ray Fosse, our beloved Ray. You know, about hey, as long as you can do it, we want you to do it. And if it's 10 less games, who cares, right? If you're because I know it'd mean a lot to you to do that first game at the new ballpark.
I would love it. Yeah, I think we all would, right, Chris?
Yeah, I'm
no doubt.
That's why I like that conversation I just had made me feel a heck of a lot better.
You came back energized. I appreciate that.
You want to hear from people who are in negotiations,
well, that's the thing.
who are in the planning.
Sometimes it's almost a good thing that you don't hear a lot of news. That may mean that work is getting done behind the scenes, and that by doing that and not getting the word out, maybe it helps you in your negotiations or whatever has to go on, Chris, to kind of keep it out of the public eye for a while.
Yeah, because negotiations they're hard, like anything else, and they can be cutthroat. And I always like to say this, that no matter what happens right now, no matter what goes down right now, nobody's going to remember when the new ballpark happens.
Right.
You forget all about, like with the Giants. The Giants went through a ton of stuff to get back then Pac-Bell Park open up. Does anybody remember that anymore? You got to be – I was just kind of around it because I was working at KBR at the time. I remember some of it, but most Giants fans don't remember how it happened, how it got started. You don't care because you have the ballpark. Same thing here.
It's just important that you're talking. And obviously there has to be transparency when you talk about city leaders and city officials, elected officials too, Chris. So you want transparency at some point. Obviously that has to take place, but I'm heartened to hear what you heard tonight for sure.
So when you start thinking about this year's team, Last year was tough. We know it. This team will be better. I don't know how much better. How much better do you think, though, this team will be?
I don't know. I'm a terrible prognosticator, and I've said this for years. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about those kinds of things. I'm more kind of focused on just how it plays out. The fascination for me, and in following sports teams like the Warriors, and I watch as many games as I can, or the 49ers, is seeing how the season progresses. And that's the story that's told every day. So I'm much more focused on that than I am thinking, how many games are they going to win this year? Now, it's going to be tough for them to jump into contention this year. But I think we talked about this a bit last year. The main thing for me is, are we going to see that core begin to develop for the next really good A's team? Because I got here in started my first year was 96, 97, 98. The A's weren't very good, but then you kind of had the feeling that that next group of players was developing in the minor leagues, and that being good was just around the corner back then. When you saw Tejada and Chavez and Giambi was already here, guys like Ramon Hernandez. Then they drafted Mulder and Hudson and Zito. So you had the feeling, even though at that moment maybe the team wasn't that good, but there was this ball club that was out on the horizon. And so I think that's a big part of what this is about this year, because the A's have acquired a ton of prospects, right? And we talked last week on your show, Chris, about how once they started making those trades in spring training last year until just recently in the Sean Murphy deal, literally 13 pitching prospects were acquired by the club. Now they got a couple of the kid infielder Hernandez that they acquired for Cole Irvin that people seem to think has a bright future, and we're going to miss Cole for sure, but there's no question. But it's a kid who, even though he's a fifth-round pick in the Orioles, got a pretty substantial bonus to keep him from going to Texas Tech, where he had a scholarship. So you want to see the Gill-Off and Soderstrom and these guys, and guys you can hang your hats on, that you can build your ball club around for the future.
Yeah, the reality is they won't all hit, but some will.
You got to hit on them. You don't have to hit on everybody, but you got to hit on
somebody,
a decent number, right? You got it.
But yeah, I mean, you hit on a few guys because you build a core, but a core is a select group of players, and then you start surrounding people around the core. So got to find that. And right now, I mean, I tell you, Ken Waldichuk, after what I saw last year in that last outing against Shohei Ohtani, I mean, I see him and as a guy that I expect big things out. I mean, not numbers-wise, but growth-wise.
The one thing that you wanted to see last year when he made his A's debut in September is, does he look like a major league pitcher?
Yeah.
Right? Some guys don't. Some guys come up and they look scared, or they look like this guy's a AAA pitcher. He looked like a big league pitcher to me. That was the most important thing from my perspective. And they got a couple. You and the Commander and Johnny were talking about some of the other young pitchers they got, who I think would have a chance maybe to, if not break camp in the rotation, but at some point join the club this year. One of the things about spring training is we're going to get a chance to see some young players that we haven't seen before. They're just guys we've read about in media guides or in newspaper clippings. Now they're going to be real life guys wearing A's uniform.
And we're starting to line up maybe for a battle of Shintaro against Ohtani.
Fuji. He wants to be called Fuji.
Fuji Ohtani. Right. Ohtani doesn't have a nickname,
doesn't need one. He's Shohei. I think he's reached that exalted level where you can just be like a one-name guy, right, or gal.
Right? Like a Prince or a Madonna.
Right, you're pretty special when you say Shohei. You know who you're talking about, right?
Korach, you're hearing that. We get these two guys pitching. Can you imagine how big that is?
It'd be great. Yeah.
I mean, not only is it here, but in Japan.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll be curious to see what kind of contingent we have of Japanese media following the A's this year. Will it be similar to what we've seen in the past with someone like a Matsui, or will it be a little thinner than that? I'm not sure. Don't know.
It may be on how well he does.
Yeah. because it was really cool having Matsui on the team, knowing that this guy was an absolute legend back in Japan, right?
Wasn't he the most impressive guy you have ever seen of a player that dealt with the media every single day? Like, he may not play for a couple days. Our light went out, Ken.
Lights have not taken effect.
Are we out of here? All right, good night, everybody. Even if he didn't play, he met with the Japanese media every day.
Amazingly patient, understood his role and how much he means in Japan, accepted that responsibility. Chris, gracious all the time. He was generous with his time. Really, you're right. I mean, it's a good point that you made. He was an amazing guy to have on the club for 1 year. And he hit his 500th home run combined between the two countries. The ball that he hit down the right field line in Detroit at Comerica Park.
And the thing about Fuji, which you're going to notice, so our A's office is right down the street.
Right.
And when we did the press conference, he came walking in. And I had watched video of him pitching in the World Baseball Classic. Now, obviously, he had the height, 6'6", but he looked like he was like 170 pounds. He came walking into our offices for the press conference. I mean, he looked like a defensive end. He's put on some weight, some size. Now I understand when they say, hey, he's getting up there to 98.
In a good way, though, not in a bad way.
No. He's
had a journey. As you know, because when he was signed, he and Ohtani were kind of coupled together. Now he's not a two-way player like Ohtani, but as far as pitching is concerned, in this incredible high-velocity fastball and the splitter combination, and he was really good in his first 3 years or so in Japan. But then he struggled, right? He kind of had a difficult time throwing the ball over the plate consistently, and went down to the Japanese minor leagues even last year. But they say, and just reading the stories about him, that he kind of regained his command last year. And I think that's one reason why the A's were attracted to him to sign him, because he bounced back last year, Chris, consistently throwing strikes. And that's the main thing, as you know, because you pitch.
Got to throw strikes.
You got to throw a strike. You can throw 100. The baseball landscape is littered with guys who throw 97 but can't throw the ball over the plate, right? So I think that I was heartened by that in reading about him, how he's kind of bounced back and developed the kind of command that you're going to have in the big league.
Yeah, no matter how hard you throw, if you're pitching in 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, and hitters counts, these hitters are so great, they will time you, because at some point you have to come over the plate, and if they know that, and usually you're taking a little miles per hour off, and then they just hammer.
How do you think the A's are going to play this? Because Ohtani pitches once a week, so it necessitates a six-man rotation.
Yeah, will
that apply with Fuji with the A's?
Well, things kind of changed with Cole Irvin. Like with Cole Irvin, we were not saying six-man rotation. We were saying we have the versatility to pitch six guys, because I think six-man rotation is almost like a dirty thing now, because how bad it failed in Anaheim. But it kind of changes things. Now that you take the one guy that you know you could take the ball every 5 days and give the innings, who's Cole Irvin, and you jettison him to Baltimore, it now scares me, because I'm not sure this guy, because a lot of teams looked at Fuji as a reliever. One of the things that was attractive about the A's was we said, oh yeah, you can be a starter here. So he's going to be a starter. We don't have the depth right now to have a six-man rotation. We do have a lot of arms, though.
You might, when Caprillion comes back, you might be able to go six then. We'll see. They might. I mean, A.J. Puck, hasn't David Force talked about A.J. Puck going to spring training to get stretched out to start?
Yes.
So let's say he can start. You might have six guys then.
Maybe.
You might.
Maybe. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is.
You're probably going to use anywhere between 10 and 13 starting pitchers during the year. Luckily, though, for the Athletics, on the 40-man roster, you got a lot of guys who could come up and be competitive.
Right. That's right. So I don't know how it's going to play out. Maybe they'll go 5, and Fuji, you'll be cool with that. I don't know.
I'd like to see that. I'd like
or
to see.
you limit the number of innings that he throws, or the pitches, or whatever.
What do you think about the running A's? Everybody we keep acquiring is an athletic guy who can run.
It's the next Moneyball.
What do you think about that?
It's the next,
money run.
It's the next hidden asset.
Run for the money,
Chris. Yeah. Well, everybody seems to. Well, not everybody, but it ties into what's going on with the rules changes, right? I mean, that if you're ever going to kind of morph into more of a running team, because the A's have not been a running team in the last couple of decades, that you would do it now because of the pitch clock and the fact you can only throw over twice. If you try to throw the third time and you don't pick the guy off, it's a balk, right? And the bases are bigger, so it's a little shorter distance. Not a lot, but enough that maybe like on a bang-bang play that wasn't out in the past might be safe now. But maybe running is going to be a big part of the game. I mean, Asturi Ruiz is a guy that can just fly, right? He's like an 80 runner on the 20 to 80 scouting scale. So, got to get on base, but yeah, you're right. It's something to look at.
It kind of excites me, really challenging 90 feet all around.
Well, I'm going back to more of a traditional way of playing.
We got away with, and it worked during the regular season, but never worked in the postseason, the 3 true outcome baseball.
Right.
I mean, it's been a long time since we could get to the postseason, and then our offense has failed in the postseason. I bring it in. I like a diverse, and it's what the Houston Astros have done. They can hit for power, they hit for average, they can run, they can do everything. That's the kind of offense I like, because then you're not, okay, we did home runs, we get knocked out of the playoffs. I've said it multiple years. Yankees aren't going to win anything because they're so one-dimensional, and they don't. They haven't been to the World Series in a long time.
Can the A's get the next Yordan Alvarez?
You never know. That's why we made all these trades, right?
Oh, man. They got in from the Dodgers.
For nothing.
Yeah. Veteran reliever at the time.
Well, what do you think about the division?
I think it's a tough division. I think the clubs have gotten better. I think the Angels have gotten better. I think that the Rangers have gotten better. I think the Mariners may have gotten better. The Astros are still going to be really good and the favorites. So, tough division. The A's aren't going to play as many games. You're not going to play as many games in your own division as you have in the past. You'll play 2 fewer series than in the past. So, we'll see how that goes. But it's a tough division, I think. It really is.
Yeah, and now everybody plays everybody.
Yeah, everybody's going to play everybody. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm all for what the fans want, and if the fans like it, I'm not a huge fan of it. But if the fans like it, that's the most important thing, Chris. If it's good for the game, then that's fine.
Yeah, there was the 7 or 8 cities have not seen Shohei Ohtani.
Right, and that's a plus.
Yeah.
My only concern is that there are a lot of kind of standalone series where you're going to go to a city only once. So that'll happen more than has happened in the past.
Yeah.
And if you have weather issues in the summertime, my fear is you can have teams crisscrossing the country trying to play makeup games or doubleheaders, and that's something that does concern me, because you're going to play a team just one time all year, either in your ballpark or in their ballpark. And if you get bad weather, how will that impact the schedule and travel and things like that? That's a concern of mine.
That is a legit major concern. So, like, let's say, you're talking about going to Cincinnati.
Right.
And you're just going into Cincinnati.
And you're not going back.
And it's pouring rain for 3 days in Cincinnati. Well, those 3 games could be huge when you start talking about, we may say, it's June, who cares, but playoff implications.
And you had the option in the past of actually making up a game at home against that team, then you'd be the visiting team, right? They'd be the home team, technically, in terms of when they batted, but you won't have that option now.
So one of the things that you can win here at Plank as the party continues for Spirit Week with the Oakland Athletics here, Jack London Square, is throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah.
Johnny Doskow had never thrown out the first pitch before. He says he's never done it. Have you?
No, I've never done it.
What the heck? How are the voices of teams not throwing out the first
Well,
pitch?
I don't think you want to see me try to throw. I have fried my shoulder. So it would be embarrassing for me to get out there. If I was younger, I would have done it for sure.
All right, now
I was a hurler in my day.
So injury excuse, you have the excuse.
I do, yeah. No, my shoulder is fried.
You got a bad
if
rotator.
You saw my shoulder on an X-ray. It looks like spaghetti.
All right. Well, maybe you could catch. Maybe Vince could throw it and you could catch it.
I'm all for that.
But the fact I'm like, play-by-play guys, not
what do you want me out there for?
You're the voice of the team.
I do enough stuff.
You're the
you don't
voice
need
of the
to see
team,
me
for
throw
God's
out
sakes. You're
the
Ken
first
Korach.
pitch. Yeah.
You're a Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer.
I'm not hosting a talk show every day like you are.
That is fact.
And keeping A's fans informed all winter like you do.
I tell you, on Monday, oh no, we're off Monday. On Wednesday, I don't know if you saw the article, but the Athletic did a very interesting article. This wasn't the place to do it, but how insane it is to be a Major League Baseball pitching coach.
Yeah.
And that the lifespan of a guy is a year, 2 years.
Because you're getting fried.
And you are literally bringing guys in, firing them, bringing guys in, firing. And then all these hitters have these coaches that are away from the team. That's something we're going to delve into next time we are on the air. Probably one of the craziest things nobody talks about in our game.
Yeah, and then then you have the assistant pitching coaches too, right? Bullpen coaches, so they do have some help. Scott Emerson is one of the great guys. Not only is he an excellent pitching coach, but he is a in his brain and all of his experience in baseball, there is a reservoir of incredible pitching information and knowledge there, Chris. And what a resource he's been for us on the broadcast side. He's just phenomenal to work with. And we did a lot of pregame shows with him last year, and we can't thank him enough for that because he's pretty busy.
Well, and these guys are just not coaches. They're like psychologists. They're family friends. Everything they do for their players, how much they mean to them, because this game really is so tough. And, as we're getting closer, we get a chance to really think about, like our friends, seeing Scott Emerson again every single day.
Yeah.
Seeing Tommy Evers, to see everybody, to see them, and get baseball going again.
And sometimes you don't see somebody for 6 months, and it's like you just pick it up right where you left off. I think that's one of the things about baseball people. One of my former bosses in baseball in the minor leagues called me today. I hadn't talked to him in over a year. But you just kind of pick it up, but that's kind of the nature of it's like a family.
Well, next time we talk to you will be what? Spring training?
Yeah, February 21st or 2nd. Yeah,
are we going to get out and play again before you leave?
We have a game on the 25th. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be in town, pal.
One more round golf before you leave?
I wanted to have a decent round before.
Come on, let's do one more.
Yeah, we got to get something yesterday.
Yeah, for golfers out there, not easy because you had all that rain. Now the sun's coming out, and the golf courses are they're tough.
No, really, I sincerely appreciate what you've been doing, you and the commander, all winter. And sometimes if you're out of the area, still go to athletics.com. And the interviews are archived there. And it's really a cool thing to listen to all the stuff you guys have done, even if you can't listen to the show live sometimes.
But we do want you to listen live really all 3 hours.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
But if you can't,
there's good stuff on it. Really good. It's all archived and cataloged, and it's really cool.
Winter meetings was special.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and the guests, and it was. Our show has grown. And it continues to grow from an audio and a video standpoint and how you can get it. It's a multimedia show, and we can't thank you enough because you've been so supportive of us as the voice of the team. It means a lot. You've been supportive of us since day one.
You don't need a whole lot of support. You guys have done a great job on your own.
What we need is a heater.
We do. It's cold out here, man.
It's like sun's going down.
Yeah, they predicted it. The fog's out there. Now the marine layer is moving in.
The light's still not taking full effect.
Somebody asked me that today. I was inside, in the main part of the restaurant, right? And she walked by and she said, "Because you're here tonight, does that mean the lights have taken effect?" Well, you don't need me to be here for that.
I was wearing that shirt last show. In honor of you, I had the shirt on. We'll go inside and get warm.
Thanks, buddy.
And we will talk to you in Arizona. But I do want. What? You hit something. There you go. I do want one round of golf before you leave.
We'll play over there.
All right.
Play in Arizona.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
The great King Korach. We got more. Come on back from the link right here on A's Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korach here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine with your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
A's GM David Force stopped by A's Cast Live to talk about Shintaro Fujinami.
Yeah, you don't do a whole lot of press conferences. What do it mean, as we're just going to call him Fuji, as you get your big right-hander, really like a small forward? I didn't realize he was this tall.
He's a big dude. Yeah, even when Billy walks in and says, damn, he's big, you know that he's a big guy. So it's been fun getting to know him over the last few days and spending some time with him. But, I mentioned earlier, our guys in Asia did a great job with scouting, and it was great to be able to bring this one in.
Yeah, when I learned about the signing, we were actually down in Arizona at the time at Fantasy Camp and started looking him up and trying to remember him from the World Baseball Classic. He was like a $175, $180 in these, and then you now look at him, he's put on weight.
Yeah.
He's filled out. Just talk about what you've seen, especially we've heard the last 3 months about velocity in the split finger.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about a guy who's been in the big leagues for 10 years over there, and you don't think about a guy who's still really developing, but he was in the big leagues at 18 years old. So he's really, matured over his career, obviously went through some difficulties in 16, 17 with command. He even spent some time in the minors the past couple of years, but we really did a good job following him through the minor leagues, staying on him, and his last month and a half in Japan, he made a couple starts in August where he dominated, and we watched a lot of video, talked a lot about him leading into the off season, and then really just stayed on this deal until we got it done.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Fuji, Shintaro Fujinami was on A's Cast Live and shared his excitement to join the A's rotation.
How excited are you to get in a starting rotation and go every 5 days for this organization?
スターターのローテーションに入ることにどれぐらい興奮してますか？
もちろんスターターやりたいと思って MLB に挑戦したのもありますし、スターターできること、スターターとして勝負させてもらえることをすごく幸せに感じてます。
They offer me a starting position, so I'm very excited. I wanted to be a starter in the MLB team, so that's about to be happening, so I'm very excited about it.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast. Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, well, we're wrapping up here from Plank, Jack London Square. Wait, changed my headphones. What? Oh, it's because I have what Ken Korach had
Ken was
on.
using yours, yeah, and you were using mine. That's why I was standing behind the camera the whole
Am
time.
I more deaf than Ken Korach?
Yeah, well, it's because your headphones are always up so loud.
Because I can't hear.
I'm trending that way too. It's been a fun broadcast here. I mean, I got the host of segment with Johnny. Yeah, I was the host. I don't know how I felt about that. I like being the number 2 or 3 or not being involved at all.
I just tell you, once the sun went down, it was a game changer.
Good thing we brought that later. No one saw us.
Yeah, no doubt. Prices, how long is this? As you see the parties going on behind us, how long is this going till?
Till 6. It's supposed to be. It was 4 to 6. So remember.
But the bar doesn't close down, so this is not ending at 6. Happy hour does not end.
Remember, it's fee-free Friday. All single game tickets are on sale now. You can buy the tickets at athletics.com/tickets. So all single game, regular season tickets. You want to come see the Angels on opening day.
And don't forget the bowling going on right now, too. Great food, bowling going on. Going to be here. A's fans will be here for a good part of the night. I wish I could give you more info. I really wish I could. But the conversation, so at 5 o'clock, I had to go in and talk to the season ticket holders and address them. And I was brought over to somebody who was here tonight, who is somebody that is around the city and around discussions between the team and the city. And I was told by this person that there's a lot of good things going on, a lot of good feelings. So take this for what it's worth. I know we're going to get a lot of information coming up here really soon. And the information that I got from this person was really good tonight. Made me feel really good. It really did.
You have to fill me in off the air what happened.
Yes. It's what we need to, and I can only say so much, but I desperately want you as Oakland A's fans to feel good. Long way to go. No question about it. And you get a lot of people, this is said on Twitter, and this is said, and then this person said this, and this. Majority of the media people really don't know. They're not on the inside. They're not. They may get some snippets of stuff, but they're not on the inside. This is a person that I spoke with tonight, truly on the inside, giving me positive vibes. And I'm just trying to pass them on to you, knowing that things are happening. There's still stuff that needs to be worked out. Obviously, it's business. That's always the way it's going to be until it's a done deal. But it's not lately kind of been portrayed as dire a little bit. It's not that way. It's not that way. And I wouldn't say this unless I had this conversation. I didn't even think I'd talk about this kind of stuff tonight, even though we're not far from where we want to build the new ballpark. But it was the conversation that I was introduced to this person. They brought me over to this person, and this person wanted to talk to me. And so we had a very constructive conversation that, and I'm gonna follow up. I'm definitely gonna follow up with this person, and because there's a lot of good information that's not being brought to the public.
Well, it's good news to hear, and I can't wait to hear more about it because, we're at 6 o'clock and time it's close to wrapping up. But I will say we're not on the air Monday, but we're back on Wednesday.
Why are we not on the air on Monday?
Delaire and I are part of a big meeting we have to go
With
to.
who?
It's a big entire group meeting in the office.
With who?
Everyone.
You don't even know half the people in the office.
I know, and I'm one of the oldest people that works there now. But on Wednesday, we're going to have Jim Callis, who was supposed to be on this last week, but moved him obviously for the Sal Bando tribute show. We're also going to have Josh Raj, the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame. So we'll talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame with Josh. We'll have Jim Callis on, talk about the A's farm system and prospects, and looking forward to the season. But I'm looking forward to the Josh Raj interview from the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, because that's been a hot topic all week. I mean, MLB now still talking about it.
What are they talking about?
Just about the process and all that. I've been seeing videos going on. I haven't got a chance to watch any, but
so I didn't see it today. Are we starting to be ahead of the curve again here on A's Cast Live? Because we've been talking about, this voting, the way they've been doing it, this has jumped the shark.
Buster was talking about it yesterday too. He doesn't like it. I don't think Buster votes anymore. I don't think he's voted for years.
We were doing this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Tuesday.
Yeah, it was the process needs change, and we got into it, but we could talk a lot about that with Josh on Wednesday. He'll be joining us at 1:30, and then Jim Callis will be at 2 o'clock. So I know it's a couple days from now, but it'll be a good show to have. We usually like to have the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame on. It used to be Tim Mead, now it's Josh Raj. So it'll be a good conversation. He was on with Farron and Duquette, our good friends, earlier this week. I emailed him that morning, got back to me. I said, let's do it next week. I know he's busy all week, so I'm glad we're able to get him.
All righty. We want to thank Johnny. We want to thank The Voice, Mr. Ken Korach, Johnny Doskow, and anybody else we want to thank?
I think we got everyone.
Want to thank you.
I want to thank you. I want to thank Ray Jensen for helping with StreamYard. And
Ray Jensen didn't do anything, but go ahead, thank you.
Yeah, and Delaire, our boss, he brought you the jacket.
DA got me a jacket. I didn't think about a jacket. But by the way, where the party is where the heaters are also. So when we're saying it's cold, in right here on the outside of the patio, they got all the heaters. So they're all warm. They're all boozing. They're all eating, having a good time.
I'll be boozing tomorrow. Royal Rumbles tomorrow. I'll let you know who wins.
Who can't wait.
You're a big wrestling guy now.
Can't
You're getting
wait.
back into it.
I don't know. It's never going to bring back. You're not bringing Ric Flair and Hogan and Macho Man.
We got to
back
start
my
that
world.
documentary on Peacock about Ric Flair.
The great Ric Flair. Well, we want to thank everybody. Have a great weekend. If you're listening, if you're watching, come down and see us. We'll be here for a while for happy hour. But we're getting ready for the 2023 season. Cannot wait. We'll be back on Wednesday. Enjoy Championship Sunday.
Niners.
Oh,
Bengals.
wow. You're going chalk with the fans. You are so unbelievable. All right, Niners.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
You're going not you kiss up. Niners and who?
Bengals. I can't go against Joe Burrow. He's full. What is he 3-0 or 4-0 against Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs?
Last week you're going Danny Dimes and the Giants.
I'll take Joe Burrow. He's a sure thing right now.
Joey Dimes. Now it's Joey Dimes.
Well, hey, Andy Reid said Mahomes is playing. Well, there was never no doubt he wasn't going to play.
Was that a shocker? Was that a shocker to you? Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. We'll see everybody next week. And thank you from Plank It's been a great show. Take care, everybody. You've been listening to A's Cast Live.
Oakland Athletics